Hey everyone, we are so excited to be here with Gabriel Segall with the Digital Smile and really excited to have him on board with us in our partner program. What we're most excited about is to learn about a different way of reaching out to additional patients and how to market to them. Gabe, I'm going to turn the time over to you to give even a better, a finer detailed introduction than that as we then kind of move on from there into your presentation.
Perfect, Spencer. Well, thank you so much for having me here. And really, what I want to show today is how practices can have a consistent ROI-driven patient acquisition model that really brings patients without them having to move a finger. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so people can see what I have for them today. So, what I'm going to share today is very simple. Is that I want to show you how you can consistently create an ROI-driven patient acquisition system for your practice. And just to give you a little bit of background about me, we've been doing this for over 5 years now. And the reason that I started this is that I had my own dad who's an oral surgeon. And till this day, we only work with dental practices and nothing else. Now, as of right now, we work with over 200 practices nationwide. So no matter in what market you are, we know exactly the system that you need to have in place to bring the right patient in. If it's implants, if it's ortho, if it's bread and butter, all on X, all on 4, if it's cosmetic, whatever that you want to bring into the office, we pretty much done it all at this point. Now, if you probably look at your practice right now, I understand what most people want. You want a predictable system that can consistently bring patients who can afford treatment with just minimal headache and maximum ROI.
Hmm.
Now, usually to be able to get there, the most common obstacles are the following. The first one, which I think is the main one, is just information overload and like burnout from the marketing efforts. There's just so much information out there on like do SEO and do Facebook ads and do cold calling and do door to door and let's do some mailers. And there's so much information out there that you don't even know where to start. And when you have so much, a lot of practice, I feel like they freeze and make no decision because they're afraid of making the wrong decision. Or they've gotten the route of hiring multiple marketing companies, but they just been burned out. And I think that we're at this stage that this happens a lot because you have a lot of these gurus who are just praising about how great this agency model is. And then you have a lot of people with no experience reaching out to these dentists and other niches too, but they don't really have a proven model to bring patients. But they give them a try, they get burned out, and then they think that any company out there is not trustworthy. But it's really about just do your research and really look at who you're hiring before you make that decision.
Hmm.
Now, the second thing is the most common thing is that you don't have enough leads or you have no leads at all. Or if you are getting leads, maybe it's just simply bad leads. And if you look at your practice right now, look, most dentists want to get to a point where they either want to stop doing bread and butter, they want to just focus on their specialty and see the treatments that they love doing. Maybe they want to get to a point where they're just managing the practice and can bring in some associates. Or maybe they're at some point where you just want to automate the entire process and maybe come in once a week or once a month. But the reality is that as long as you don't have a predictable system to bringing leads, convert leads into appointments, convert appointments into shows, and convert shows into actual treatments, then you're never going to get there. And think about this. You want to bring in an associate. Why would an associate come into your office if you don't have a predictable way to fill out their schedule? They're going to go somewhere else. If you want to get to a point where you don't have to work 6, 7 days a week, you're going to have to set up a predictable model. If you want to see that finally you're able to take a quick vacation with the family and the revenue doesn't drop because everybody's looking for you, and when you're out, no patients come in, then you need a system that works towards a practice and not you.
Hmm.
And that's the main thing, right? Then you have a system that brings in all these leads, but then you don't have a good show up rate or you have low conversion to care. There's a couple of reasons why this happened. I'm going to show you in a second how you can solve this with one simple solution. Now, the reality with all of this is that this is not your fault. Look, we have a broken model. A lot of practices right now depend on a lot of insurances, and you get crushed by their prices. But then you realize that you're so dependent on them that if you stopped working with them, your revenue would drop maybe 50, 60, 70, even 80%. Some practices depend 100% on insurances. And if you don't focus on setting up a system that is fee for service and brings in patients besides what the insurance brings us, you're going to get crushed every single year.
Mhm.
And then you're going to have to do treatments on penny on the dollar instead of going directly to the patient and having them pay. Does everything make sense so far?
Yes, absolutely.
Then you also have this, right? You can have a great system, but if you don't have A players in your team, great front desk and great office managers, then you're also going to fail. You need someone that's going to pick up the phone in 5 minutes or less when leads come in. You need an office manager that is trained to sell. That's literally your office manager's job. Your office manager, your patient coordinator, they're your closer. Think about it that they are the head of the sales team. And if you just hire someone that is nice and okay, knows how to communicate, that's great. But the one skill that they need is know how to close. So my advice is you either train them and yourself, if you're really good at closing, you bring them into some sales training, or if you're gonna hire someone new, the first question that I would ask is, give me your track record on closes and look at their track record. The same way that I look at my team, if I hire a new closer, the one thing that I want to know is how much revenue have they closed? What is their close percentage? They are your closer, and that's what you need to focus on. And I'm going to
Mhm.
show you in a second how we can also take care of that too for them.
Mhm.
Now, the main thing that happens also is that you depend too much on word of mouth and referrals. And you might have gotten to a point where you're making 100, 200K. I spoke with a practice lately that they have two offices, and between both of them, they're doing 600K. But if you want to keep on that growth going, by the way, those are monthly numbers, you can't depend on one channel because one channel at some point always dries up. You need to have 6, 7 multiple channels set up so that if one channel dries up for a month or for a couple of months, you have multiple channels in place that you never have to depend on that again.
Yeah.
And the reality is that if you comfortably grown your practice to a point where you take care of all the bills, maybe you're at that 80, 90, 100K a month, well, you can pay all your bills, you can pay yourself a nice salary, but you're not satisfied with where you are because you still have to do bread and butter. You can't hire an associate because let's be honest, at 100K a month, it's going to be very hard to hire an associate and for you to still pay yourself a good salary. Is that you need more than just word of mouth to grow. It's just one channel. It's great to have that in place, but it can't be the only thing that you do. And then the final thing is that you hire all these agencies that have no idea what they do, right? Again, you have 16-year-olds and 20-year-olds, and I mean, I don't think that age matters a lot, but you have all these people who have no experience at all, calling you all day, pitching you on services, and they might be great at sales, but they also need to be great at fulfilling the service and actually delivering results. So, what I want you to ask yourself is this: what if your consults came from pre-educated patients who were ready to pay? And this is what it looks like for a lot of our clients. $19,000 cases closed, 22,000. This makes it easier to see. $7,000 case. Here's a $37,000 case. This was $30,000 closed in 24 hours between 3 partners. These are some ortho cases, 5,500, 5,800. This is in one day. We had one practice treatment plan for two $50,000 treatment plans each. That was 100,000 in one day. And you can see plenty of more. And this might be a little bit overwhelming. I'm just giving you a couple of cases here. But here's just to summarize this, a couple of my favorite cases. You got Dr. Ball getting a 10x return on ad spend in 90 days. I think at this point he's made multiple 6 figures with us. Raiden Smalls over 250K in revenue generated. Dr. Humphries over 12x return on ad spend in the first 30 days. And even Dr. Latif over $1.1 million in treatment presented in just 11 months. And these practices, they were spending a interesting amount of marketing, but they were not spending tens of thousands of dollars to make this happen.
Mm.
And I'm going to show you in a second how with not such a massive budget, but still a significant amount, you can consistently bring patients into the office. But before I do that, I mean, I've talked a lot about the great things that we have done, but let me show you what our clients are saying about us.
I have never stayed with a company more than 3 months. Willingly. So I didn't just stay with you, I actually added more media with you. So I believe in your guys' model.
If I were to show kind of like your case study to someone like a potential client that was looking into working with us and maybe was a little bit hesitant, like what would you tell them about our service and the experience that you've had so far?
We're getting quality patients on a regular basis. Communication is great. You know, that Voxer is awesome. You know, I'll get an answer sometime within the same day. So no, I like the communication. I like the actual work. I do see the patients, quality patients. You know, I've had problems before with people that I didn't get patients at all. And I've had companies before where I've got patients, but they're all unqualified. And, you know, this business model of yours, it always works.
And let me show you another one. This is Dr. Kosh, that he's been with us since April of 2024. And just in the first couple of months of working with us, he already closed $94,000 in new cases. That's a 5.37x return on investment.
Honestly, I have been very happy with the Spanish-speaking campaign with you guys. And Laura is amazing. Laura is really just on top of, very professional, on top of her game, and very good follow-up. Your marketing works because I tried before, not marketing did not work. Only honestly, I had experience with one marketing on Instagram. It was horrible, horrible. But that was English speaking, just Spanish speaking worked for me.
How is everything going?
Everything is going well. I think this marketing is working fine. We're getting good patients actually. Yeah, with our interest in treatment. Yeah, we definitely be able to keep going. So I know you guys are doing a great job scheduling patient too. Yeah, I'm happy. So
You happy? I'm happy.
Yeah. We've actually got a bunch of them actually close their treatment or start their treatment. So they're actually very good patients that are interested in getting their their smile fixed, their teeth done, and everything. So I believe that's going well.
Yeah. Now, the reason that I wanted to show the second video was that we have a lot of people that come to us and say, well, we work with this company. The first months were great, and then we got no results at all. And if you can see, it clearly shows that these are two different videos. The first one is the newest one. The second one is the oldest one. And there's months in between those two testimonials. And this is someone that months later still praises us because we're consistently bringing results. And then for those of you who have multiple offices, this is one of our clients also, which is Radiant Smiles, that we were also able to scale multiple of his offices. But look, with that in mind, let me just show you the system that is helping all these practices. So with this, we do a lot of things in English and Spanish, but anyone that has Spanish-speaking staff, I highly encourage you to look at this market. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is a little bit our Hispanic Patient Accelerator. See, this is data from the Census Bureau. So as of July 1st of 2023, this is already 2 years ago, 19.5% of the US population are legal Hispanics. So I know that there's a lot of controversy around this topic nowadays, but 19.5% of the US population are legal citizens who are Hispanic. That means that 1/5 of the population nowadays, at this point, that's probably at around at least 21%, are Hispanic. So if you are not targeting this market, you're doing a disservice to your business. And you don't have to be Miami or Dallas or Houston where there's millions of people who are Hispanic. If all that you do is in a 20, 15, 20-mile radius, you have 30, 40, 50,000 people. That's good enough to take over that market. And that is thousands of patients who can become your ideal patient in the long run. And the beauty about this is that they're one of the few untapped markets that are left. Think about this. Right now, you look at all these companies who can help you in different areas, and for you, they all look the same and they all offer the same things. But you also have to look yourself in the mirror and realize that patients look at you the same way. You all do implants, you all do aligners, all of you even use Invisalign. Like, what makes you different than the other one that offers Invisalign? You're literally offering the same product. So if you don't start to look at ways to differentiate yourself, you're just gonna get eaten by the market and by people who are actually innovating and doing things differently. Don't expect that people are gonna come because you're nice, because you're a great dentist. That's all great, but there's nice people and there are great dentists all over the country. That doesn't make you special. So what is it that you have to do to actually stand out? First of all, you need to have a lead generation system. If it's in English or in Spanish, you need to have a proven model that hooks people right away, gets their attention. You need to be running ads on Facebook, Instagram, Google, TikTok. That is where the traffic is nowadays. And always think, where are the eyeballs? This is where it is in 2025. Maybe 10 years from now, we're all going to be using VR machines and that's where all the attention is. Then you're going to have to focus there. But nowadays it's here. So that's where you need to focus. Where all the attention is, that is where you go. And you need to have a system in place that targets specifically the treatment that you want to bring in. Then make sure that you qualify them. You need to have a marketing funnel in place. Qualify them and asking questions like, if it's an implant, how many teeth are missing? What's the level of commitment? What's their credit score? And we literally do all this for you. You can also do it yourself. I'm literally giving you the playbook. So if you want to do this, just go ahead and do it. And then you also should have AI involved in your practice. It's crucial nowadays, especially nowadays where you can have AI agents that can have full conversations with patients over text, especially when the office is closed. If a lead comes in and they have a question and they come in and ask a question at 6 p.m. and you answer them the next day at 9 a.m., but that time is too late. If there's a practice next to you who has an AI agent that can have a full conversation with them, book them into the schedule, and even get them to pay upfront for the consult, all on autopilot, who do you think is going to win? So that's also something that we set up for them. And then you need to have someone that is fully dedicated to just handling leads and booking patients. So if you have multiple people on the front desk, you should have one person that all their job is just dedicated to new leads and getting more appointments, not just answering the phone. So with us, for example, you get a bilingual assistant that can take care of all that for you. Follows up with all the leads, making sure that they're qualified, confirms that they have a 650, that they can afford treatment, and even gets them to pay upfront for the consult. Okay? Now, a couple of things that we want to add as a bonus. We talked about the biggest bottlenecks, right? First of all, not getting enough leads, getting bad leads. When you have the right marketing system in place and the right appointment setters, all that, we fix that. But now we go into the second stage, which is conversion. So instead of just running ads and getting new appointments, we're also going to get you coached on how to close high ticket cases with someone who has already scaled to multiple locations, at this point it's 6, and has done over $30 million in sales. And you're going to get this all for free. The second thing is I'm going to help your practice gain between 10 and 100 new reviews on Google from happy patients that haven't shared their feedback. And this alone can 6x your inbound calls for free. Remember how we talked before that one of the biggest problems with a broken system is that you depend on 1 or 2 channels like referrals and word of mouth. Now you're going to have ads in place in multiple channels. Each one is already a new lead generation channel. Now you're going to get more inbound calls through Google because when you improve your reviews and when you optimize your page, that gets you more inbound calls and more people clicking on your website and scheduling appointments. Then you need to maximize the lifetime value of your patients, reactivate them. So we're going to help you reactivate patients that haven't been to the office in more than 12 months and show you the referral system that can generate an extra 50 appointments a month for free. Then as a final bonus, just to make this pretty much a no-brainer for you, because this is pretty much going to cover almost the entire cost of working with us. Because we have such a big volume of clients that we're working with, we can actually save you between $10,000 and $12,000 a year on just dental supply costs. We get you access to the right partners, and we literally cover the entire cost for you. So you don't have to spend a dime. And just by working with us, this is already saving you tens of thousands of dollars. Depending on how big your practice is, it can be more than even $12,000 a year. So what I want you to think is that The most important thing is that you have a system in place that consistently brings in patients into the practice. So you never have to depend on one channel again. So that you don't have to depend on insurances, so you can charge the right prices. And so you have a practice that works for you. And you're not there 7 days a week and have a practice that fully depends on you being there.
Hmm.
So for anyone that's interested in jumping on a call with us, one of the things that we're going to do, because you're part of this partnership, is that we're going to give you a free audit. So when you book a call with us, here are the things you're going to get. A market opportunity map. We show you how many implant cases, ortho cases, cosmetic cases, whatever you're going to be focused on, are setting in your zip code right now. Second, a competitor ad benchmark report. Like, we reveal you what your competitors are doing right now and where they're leaking leads. And then finally, an eligibility review call. So no pitch, just data. If you qualify, we're going to build this entire system for you.
Hmm.
And yeah,
So yeah, Gabe, what a great introduction and taking us into the depth of everything that you provide. So cool. Love the presentation, love the outline, and so much opportunity here to increase new patients and outreach, and especially outreach to likely areas that we as clients have been missing. And really looking forward to having some meetings with you, Gabe, and hope that we can schedule some consultations to see how we can help the business and the overall outreach and new clients, new patients. So, Gabe, thank you so much for your time. More to come from Gabe and his team, and great to hear from you today.
thank you so much, Spencer.